for all different, we'll call it skill levels of LinkedIn. One of the most common questions I get from whether it's insurance agents or I do teach a few classes at a local university, from students. The question always is kind of like, what should I be doing on a daily basis? And I don't think a lot of people think like that with social media. They kind of think of it like, oh, well, there's social media. I have a profile. I can use it whenever I want to use it. And, I personally don't look at it like that. Specifically with LinkedIn, I look at LinkedIn as a database. And for anyone who's ever been successful, anyone who's ever run a successful company, it's always about being efficient and being able to use and maximize the data you have in your database to get results, to stay organized, to market. So I guess where I'm going is LinkedIn is a big database, and there's a few things you need to do on really a weekly basis to, one, keep it organized, two, maximize the people you're connected with, and three, have a game plan to market to the people you're connected with, because that's really half of the, without rambling on, the real reason LinkedIn has any value at all is a high percentage of people pay attention to it. They're very in tune to it. They may not be experts. They may not understand how it works, but they do pay attention to it. And that's half the battle in this industry, is getting someone's attention. So what I kind of did here was I came up with kind of my 4 steps, my 4 tips to making sure that you're successful with LinkedIn. So this is something that I do on a weekly basis, and it should not take more than maybe 10 minutes a week. I don't do it just one day. It's maybe 2 minutes a day. So step 1 is what I call look good. And what that means is, and we've talked about this in the past quite a bit, is that your profile is really an online resume, right? And that's what it is. You're hoping that people are going to look at your profile because you've written your profile to tell people who you are, how you can help them, and how they can request your help. That's the importance of the profile. So again, step 1 is each week, just go onto your profile and kind of take a look at it. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure it's telling people exactly what I said, who you are, how you can help them, how they can request your help, and keep it looking good. That's the most important tip I can give any of you. And one of the things I find a lot of agents struggle with is their profile isn't up to date. It's not professional. It's not well written. And if somebody does find it, which is the best case scenario, it's not going to convert them into a phone call, into a lead, into a free consultation. So that's something I always do. I kind of take a look. You'll see I have some videos here that people can click on, actually go in and watch my services. I'm constantly updating these videos. My profile is not stagnant. It's always changing, just a little bit, little tweak here, a little tweak there. But that is step 1. Make sure you look good. Step 2 is really easy. I call it stay in front. And what that means is that, think about your day. How many people are you talking to? How many emails are you getting from people? One of the things that I've always done, and this goes back to probably 2003 when I first started with LinkedIn, 2004, is anytime I get somebody's email address that I'm not connected to them on LinkedIn, and I kind of have a general guess if I'm connected to them or not. The first thing I do, and again, this is what I suggest you guys do throughout your day, is go into LinkedIn, click on Networks up here at the top, and I'll just kind of highlight it here. Click on Networks up here at the top, and make sure that you select the Add New Connection tab, and you'll see there's a little button over here called Any Email. Select that, and again, guys, I am recording this. You can go back and watch this to go through the clicks. Select any email, and then click Invite by Individual Email. So what I'm telling you guys to do is as you're going through your day, you get an email from somebody, you get somebody's business card, you have lunch with them, come in here and type in their email address, okay, and hit Send Invitation. I find that if I've just met somebody new or they've just called me, I get these calls all the time. Ken, I was referred to you. I'm interested in what you do, but I'm not really sure, if I'm ready to work with you, blah, 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 blah. A little consultation. You get that person's email. You type it in, you send the invitation. What does that do? Well, they're going to get an email immediately saying, Ken French Jr. wants to connect with you on LinkedIn. Trust me, guys, human nature is for them to immediately connect with you. They don't want to embarrass themselves. They don't want to come across as weird. And again, most people don't even really understand how LinkedIn works. So you want to take advantage of that because you know how LinkedIn works and invite them to connect. They will connect with you. And one thing I guarantee you is when they connect with you, they will take a look at your profile. So think of it as like a post-sales overview. You've just talked to them maybe an hour before, maybe this morning. Now they're on their now they're on your LinkedIn profile, which again is telling people who you are, how you can help them, and how they can request your help. Maybe they're on here watching my videos, and really it's sinking in how I can be an asset to them, what I really do. It's no different for you. So step 2 is each day as you're getting people's email addresses, make sure you're inviting those people to connect with you. Again, that's driving traffic to your LinkedIn profile. And hey, they probably end up going to your website. You know, people always ask me, how do I get more traffic? How do I get more traffic? There's never a magic answer. It's about doing these little things that build up over time. And if you click on network, guys, if you click on profile, there's a little button that says see who's viewed your profile. You can see if that person you just talked to, looked at your profile. And, so you can see. I mean, it's all part of the system. The next step is once you've connected with that person, and again, you'll get an email. It'll say, you are now connected to Bobby Smith. You're not done with Bobby Smith. The next step is what I call usable data. You got to make sure you go into LinkedIn and organize that guy. That the guy you've connected with, you need to put him into a folder so that you can actually go on later on and mass market to them. And again, I've done a few webinars here about LinkedIn's messaging tools. Very powerful. More powerful than email marketing. I find that if I send an email to 1,000 people, usually get about 44% opening it. If I send the same email to LinkedIn, it's more like 65%, 70%. So what you can do is when you go into LinkedIn, click on Network up at the top and click on Contacts. And this is kind of like your hub of contacts where you can go through all the people you're connected with. But most importantly, you want to make sure you put them, and again, I've done some webinars on this in the past. If anyone's really blown away by what I'm going over now, just email me. I'll send you, I have a few webinars where I go right through the managing and linking part of this. But you can go right in here, right, and you can see, I just hit recent conversations. You can select new. It'll pull up all the people that you've just connected with. I just connected with this guy, Lou Doubleday, today. You'll see that he is not in a folder. So if I click on the tag button under his name, I can then select a folder to put him in. I'm going to put him in current clients. So now you can see that he's been tagged. He's in a folder, current clients, right? So what you can do later on is certainly go in there and send a message to current clients. Lou will be part of that distribution list. So just to kind of summarize, LinkedIn has a whole messaging process. You can take all the people you're connected to, put them in folders, and then within seconds send a message out to 50 people at once without even wasting more than 2 seconds. You can't do that if you don't organize your connections. I find that probably 70% of people who use LinkedIn completely oblivious to that. They don't spend the time to keep their database organized. So even though they may have 1,000 connections, it's not usable data, right? So that's the third tip. The fourth tip is influence, right? You have, again, we're going through a process. One, we want to make sure, obviously, the profile looks good. Two, we want to stay in front of the client by inviting people that we're talking to. Three, we want to make sure we organize that guy once we've connected to him. But more importantly, when you connect with somebody, the next thing you should do is you should send them a welcome message. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who use LinkedIn, you see the top guys do that. you'll connect with somebody, and then within 5 or 10 minutes, you'll get an email from them. And it'll say, hey, thanks for connecting with me. This is what I do. This is how I can help you. Again, we go back to, is this worth our time? My answer, absolutely yes. 65% of the people who use it, 65% of the messages we send out are getting read. So without rambling on too much more here, guys, all I'm saying is once you connect with the people, send them a LinkedIn message saying thanks for connecting. And I kind of have a sample welcome message right here. You know, something like this. Hey, I appreciate you connecting with me on LinkedIn. I specialize in helping small businesses with risk management situations. Please feel free to contact me. Make sure you always put your phone number in there. Make sure you always put your website in there. Because remember this, guys, when you send a LinkedIn message to somebody, it goes, excuse me, it goes to their email. And in their email, it says you've received a LinkedIn message from one of your connections. So the people are a lot more likely to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take a look at this. I got a message from one of my connections. It doesn't look like a spam email. So my point is even though your LinkedIn profile may have your website on it and it may have a phone number on it, don't assume that that person is going to ever revert back to your LinkedIn profile. They may revert back to that email later on. So my point is in that message, you do want to make sure you have your phone number and your web address. But the key is to have what I call a pre-written message. So what you're looking at right now here is just something I did in Microsoft Word, right? What I suggest you guys do is write up something and then save it on your computer. So every time you're connecting with somebody, you get a new connection, you go right to that file. You know, all you have to do is copy and paste it, right? Highlight it, right-click, copy, right? And then you go right into LinkedIn, click the message button, and click compose new message, and you know, paste. So it's all about efficiency, guys. The one thing that really sets apart the elite user from the rookie is the elite user can literally spend 2 or 3 minutes a day and execute these things. The rookie, he spends an hour fooling around trying to figure out what to click, what to do. And I think it's important because, one thing that we can all agree, this stuff ain't going away. All right, we're in year 10 of LinkedIn. There will be a year 20, I guarantee it. And who knows what it's going to look like in year 20. But you want to make sure that you have like I said, you want to make sure that you have your profiles looking good. You're constantly adding new connections by the one-a-day attitude. I get one email address, I invite them. Next thing you know, you have 4,000 connections. Not only do you want to have 4,000 connections, you want that data to be usable. You want them to be organized in your folders. And then obviously, part of the process is just kind of sending out that, this is who I am. And, people always ask, how do I get more traffic? How do I get more traffic? The real answer is doing these little things that take a little bit of time, but they add up if you do it every day. Absolutely it adds up. Absolutely it works. And that's what, all the people that are successful, they'll never tell you that. They'll try to sell you something. But the reality is it's doing this trench warfare stuff that really gets you to the top. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm going to put it on YouTube in a few minutes. If anyone wants to watch it again, shoot me an email. I'll send it to you. But I think this is the fundamentals to getting to the next level. Most of you guys are thinking, man, that's a lot of work. A lot of work to get what I want done because you haven't ever put any time in. You probably have 1,000 connections that haven't been organized. The reality is even though you have that, it's not usable. So you don't really have anything. And you have to start kind of having that mindset that if I'm going to get something out of this, I got to make sure it's usable. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful, guys. Hopefully you guys understood what I was talking about. Appreciate your time. Look forward to next week. We're talking. Next week I think we're talking about. Next week we're talking about videos. How to add videos to your website. What type of strategy should you have? Should you have videos? It's going to be a pretty good webinar. Look forward to it, and we'll talk to you then. Thanks again. Bye-bye.